Hello, my amazing friends. I hope you all are doing super well today. I have a very special guest in a little bit of a different format. I have Doug Cunnington here. So, Doug, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Mackenzie, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to meet your audience and share my story.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Doug is such a positive and chill person, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you and chatting with you and stuff. So I'm excited to interview you today. So I guess not many people know you on my channel. So could you tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do, that sort of thing?
Yes, so I'm Doug Cunnington. I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I currently am mostly involved with Amazon affiliate sites. So that's kind of my thing right now. I also have an online course around that topic as well. I actually started doing it I think about 4 years ago at this point. Before that, I had a normal corporate job. I was in IT doing project management and sort of was dabbling a little bit with internet marketing. So
Mhm. Wow, that's really cool. So how long did it take you for that transition from being like in your corporate job to, being like a full-time, having a course and teaching other
sure.
people on YouTube and stuff like that?
So since I got laid off, it was kind of abrupt. So as soon as they laid me off, I was like, oh, well, I better start doing this full time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of quick, but it was a long time like growing into that. So
Yeah.
it was 2013 and I was out walking
Mm.
my dog back in Atlanta. So I'm from Atlanta originally and just out walking, I listened to a lot of podcasts and I found Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. And at that point, like a whole new world opened up to me because I didn't know anything about affiliate marketing or internet marketing or that anyone could make money online at all. It was a blind spot. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I started learning about it, learning about niche sites and I guess like AdSense
Yeah.
sites, Amazon affiliate stuff,
Uh,
and just dove in head first. Really got obsessed with it and launched a couple sites, failed multiple times over and over again before I kind of hit the right, sequence of things to do.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, I think it's always like so important to have that perseverance, I guess. So even if something doesn't work out the first time, if you feel like, this is the right path to take, you have to keep pursuing it until it actually starts to become successful. So I guess what is your advice for somebody who maybe is in that stage where things kind of keep failing and and they want to do something, but it's just not really working out? Like, what would be your advice for keeping that perseverance?
Sure. Well, I think most of the time you're going to fail
Mhm.
a little bit. So that's totally expected. I think the big advice is to, have the perseverance, keep trying, but you have to make sure that you are fixing the things that you're doing wrong. So you need to, journal if you're into journaling, reflect if you're in a mastermind group, you could bring some of your issues or problems to the group and ask for help.
Mhm.
Oftentimes people can see things externally, right? They can see the issues, the things that you're struggling with, and they could just tell you. We have a blind spot for our own
Mhm.
issues a lot of times. I know I do.
Mhm.
And sometimes, a friend could just point it out really easily.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, well, I should have been doing that. So the big thing is, keep going, but you have to try to make improvements. You can't just blindly keep trying and make the same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's really cool that you have friends that'll, will tell you the mistakes that maybe you're making. Because I'm definitely a firm believer in that the people that you surround yourself with, you're the most like, and being able to surround yourself with those types of people that want you to succeed so much that they're going to give you that constructive criticism is really awesome too. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned journaling, and I'm definitely like an advocate for like journaling and those sorts of things. So for you, do you just journal to have that reflection, or what kind of take me through that process of journaling and stuff like that that you like to do?
Sure. So I don't have a very strict sort of routine or anything around it. So for a little while, I was working with like the format of the 5 minute
Hmm.
journal. So I didn't actually have a five
Yeah.
minute journal. I just,
Yeah.
did the stuff in a regular notebook, which if people aren't familiar, and Mackenzie, you could fill in the gaps where I'm messing it up and forgetting, but I think you write three things you're grateful for. So that's a gratitude portion,
Mm-hmm.
three things you want to accomplish that day. And then at the end of the day, you write
Mm-hmm.
like three things that were great. And is there something
I'm in
else
the
in there
same
too?
boat. I've never
Do you
actually
remember?
used the 5 minute journal. All I did, all I did was just like the gratitude part and
Okay.
like the goals, and yeah, maybe a little bit of like reflection. But other than that, no, I
Okay.
haven't.
So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
frugal too. That's a whole other video. So you can recreate the 5 minute journal on your own with just a plain notebook. So I did that, and it was really good for maybe about 4 months, and then it did become a little redundant in that it's probably my fault for not changing up the routine and how I was doing it. But about 4 months was pretty good. Nowadays, I just maybe 3 or 4 times a week, I'll just sort of like free journal, like
Mm.
stream of consciousness in the morning. And a lot of times, if I'm stressed out, that'll really clean up like any stress that I had. And I'll realize, oh, it's not a big deal. I just need to do these three things. So it kind of blends from like journaling, like pure journaling, to a partial to-do list and like stress relief portion, but it's been working great for me. And the one thing that I've added
Mm.
recently is I'm using Evernote again, which I used for a little while and then stopped using it. But the cool thing that I guess they've been doing it for a while, but I didn't know, you could take a picture with your smartphone or tablet, and then your handwritten image is searchable. So if I'm like, I don't remember when I like journaled, but I knew like a couple words, I can now search it in Evernote, and then
Wow.
it'll show me those notes. So I'm
Oh
journaling,
my gosh,
taking
that's so
pictures, and it's
cool.
fully
I didn't even
searchable
know
now.
that was like a thing.
You have to pay for like the
Oh,
premium version, but it's only like I
yeah.
think it's like $70 for a year, which is,
Yeah.
if you're using it as a
Yeah,
tool,
for sure.
it's
Wow,
probably
that's
still
really, really
cheaper than the 5 minute
awesome.
journal,
Well, then,
basically.
so you mentioned like you like to do that in the morning. So I guess what is your morning routine?
So it varies a little bit, but usually I'll wake up, drink a big glass of water. I'll have like a protein
Hmm.
shake. I'll make some coffee or
Hmm.
tea. I drink a lot of coffee, probably too much. So
Okay, me,
I am trying
me
to
too.
blend in some, yeah, like if I realize I'm anxious at any point in time, I could usually like find the root source in a big like pot of coffee that I drank earlier in the day. So, but I am trying to blend in like more green tea, so I'll make a little less coffee and just have green tea. Matcha tea is really good. I'm getting into
Mm,
that a little bit too. Is it matcha? Is that
yeah,
how you say
matcha.
it? And then the second sort of phase is walking the dog. So we actually just adopted a new dog. She's sleeping next to me
Oh.
here, but she's a border collie, and she's great. She needs like lots of
Yeah.
exercise, so I'm probably walking like 5 to 8 miles a day, like just with her as
Hmm.
well. So it's great to get outside, even when again I'm in Montana, so it hasn't snowed in a week, but there's still like 8 inches of snow on the
Yeah.
grass or so. And it's cold out, but I like going out
Yeah.
even if it's cold or rainy or snowy. It's really good to, see the mountains and just be outside.
Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, walks are so amazing for clearing your head, especially if you're stressed or first thing in the morning. Like, I love taking morning walks. So when you go for a walk, do you do any sort of like gratitude walks or anything, or is it just you just go out, maybe listen to like a podcast, or what do you exactly do you do? Or do you just kind of enjoy nature?
Yeah. So I used to listen to
Mhm.
podcasts all the time. So I would, like I said, that is how I got involved with like internet
Yeah.
marketing and just learning about this whole world that we're now a part of here. And I realized I was listening to like too many. I would listen to 4 or 5 hours of like podcasts through the day. If you rewind to like when I had a corporate job and I was commuting and all that stuff, I would fill like any gaps I could with podcasts, and I would listen to them at like a faster
Yeah.
speed. So it's like so much information. It was really cool for certain things, but at some point I realized it was actually stressing me out, and a lot of interview type podcasts, you end up with like exception cases, success
Mm-hmm.
stories, and we can't help but compare ourselves
Yeah.
to whoever is that exception success story. And it basically would bum
Mm-hmm.
me out and stress me out. It would make me feel like I was behind. So I often these days, to answer your question finally, I just walk and I like try and pay attention to Georgie, my
Mm-hmm.
dog, and like look at the mountains, like I said, and just enjoy like what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. Occasionally, right, I'll put in, I probably listen to 3, 4 podcasts a week or so, and it's fairly limited, like on the third or fourth walk. But for me, it's like clearing my head. Occasionally, I need to, think through a problem, and I'll just like think about that problem as I'm walking.
Yeah.
Like I got the idea from a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport. Have you heard
I
of it?
haven't
Have you read that?
actually, but I'll have to look that up for sure.
It's really good, and it's about like focusing and really working through a problem. And he goes on these sort of like meditative, like problem solving, like outdoor nature sessions. So he'll walk and he'll think through a problem, so he could sort of multitask, and you don't have notifications hopefully going off in your pocket and things distracting
Mm-hmm.
you. So if I do have to like think through a problem, I'll try to do it on a walk, because, again, there's no distractions and you really can focus a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. No, that sounds so amazing. I mean, walking is definitely, I would think, a form of meditation for sure. Just because you are not distracted and you're completely present and in the moment. So walking is a great form of meditation. Even you don't have to just like sit down and like, be in like the lotus position and to
Right, right.
meditation and to kind of work through your problems and stuff through your head. So that's super cool. So I'm really interested in this kind of like work life balance because obviously like you're very like successful at what you do. And so, for me, I'm starting to kind of struggle with this work-life balance thing because I'm like traveling, and so but I'm also working at the same time. So how am I going to balance those different aspects of like making new friends, but also, starting to grow my client base and stuff like that. So I guess, how would you have work-life balance?
Okay. So like an ideal
Yeah,
day is
yeah,
sort of okay. So first off, almost none of the days are ideal days. So here, I'll tell you what I sort of
uh-huh.
envision. I would, do the walk that I mentioned, have sort of like, the
Uh-huh.
coffee or tea or whatever, go on the walk, probably work for about 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours a day, and then go to the gym, and then not work again, kind of, ease my way through the
Yeah,
afternoon, maybe read a little bit, go on a couple other walks, and then it's dinner time. Probably have, a couple beers. I'm a big beer
mhm.
person. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I am. Did you hear that
Yes,
fall,
but
by the
it's
way?
okay. No worries.
Okay. That's a Christmas light that's in the
Uh-huh.
window. So sorry
Oh,
about that.
no worries.
So I'm really into beer, and I'm actually a home brewer
Really?
and a high ranking like certified beer
Oh my
judge.
goodness.
So I'm really into beer, and most days I would like to have like a beer or two and just sit down and enjoy that. Now, as far as like the actual work life balance, and I'll let you ask follow ups that I'm sure you have, but like for the work life balance, I actually do really well like focusing, and I can do like a 10 or 12 hour day if I have to. Now, you got to have breaks, you have to manage your caffeine
Yeah.
intake, for me personally, but like I'm okay with that, and it's not really like balanced. But for me, like if I could focus really hard on work for a few days and really like get a ton done and accomplish a lot of things, like really important things, and sort of stay out of the busy work that maybe answering a bunch of emails that don't really like move the needle.
Hmm.
And then the days when I'm off, I'm like, I don't have to check my phone. I could just turn it off, leave it at home,
Yeah.
go hike for several hours and like
Hmm.
really be unplugged. Like I'd prefer that, like, really hard focus on work and then really hard focus on relaxing,
Yeah.
or, just being in the moment and not distracted. So,
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely a form of balance That's for sure. And that's amazing that you can focus so well like that. I think for me, focusing has always been kind of a struggle, and getting like being able to, if I do want to take some days off, having those maybe like 10-hour or 12-hour days. I really struggle with those. So no, I think that's definitely like a a form of balancing. And
Yeah.
it's going to be different for everybody. So, but I am curious, like, what type of beer do you brew at home?
Sure. So all kinds. I for a little while was really into like IPAs. I think a lot of people when they first start brewing, they're into
Yes.
IPAs quite a bit, depending on when they
Yeah.
started. But I really enjoy Belgian
Uh,
beers, which in my particular neck of the woods are a little harder to
uh-huh.
get. We're kind of at the end of the supply chain here in Montana,
Yeah.
and yeah, people. I mean, there's not a large population, so they don't ship much beer here. But I love Belgian beers, and I think probably in Germany, I'm sure you could get those fairly
Yeah.
readily.
Yeah.
It's close
For,
by, right?
yeah. Well,
So
yeah, even I mean the beer in Germany has been some of the best I've ever tried, and so I mean I've tried some Belgian beers, but I haven't actually tried like beer in Belgium. So so it would definitely be an
sure.
experience. That's very cool. All right. Okay. So, kind of going back because we kind of got off track a little bit, I guess. So, you talked about how you do like Amazon affiliates and stuff. So, we can kind of talk about how you exactly are living the lifestyle that you have, and can you talk a little bit about um, Amazon affiliate sites, like kind of sort of for dummies, very quick summary of how to maybe get started and what you offer as well to help other people.
Basics are we create like a website with reviews on it, and then people click on affiliate links on that website. And if they make a purchase over at Amazon, then the affiliate, us, we get a small percentage of that, anywhere between like 1% and 10%, depending on the category of that product that they purchase. So that's sort of like the simplest version of it. And it doesn't sound like much, but people are making like full time incomes from these review sites. A couple of examples I can give, just some of my friends. Actually, a musician from Canada named Dave
Mhm.
Fox. He actually like created a couple sites, and he's making like 5 to 7K per
Wow.
month, and he has been for like the last year or
Wow.
two. I guess it's going on 2 years. Another good friend of mine, Rob Atkinson, he's making like 20,000
Wow.
plus per month. He has a few sites, but he's making like way more than a full time income. And then my own example would be a site that actually Rob and I sold
Wow.
together for 235,000 in June of 2017.
Wow.
So just it doesn't sound like much to get 1 to 10%, but of course people buy a lot of stuff on
Yeah.
Amazon, and the way we create the sites, the way we sort of attract traffic, it does scale
Mhm.
well. So you can make a lot of money
Yeah.
from it.
Wow, that is so cool. So I guess like for getting started, like what should be the first thing that people do if they're interested? How could they get started with that?
Sure. So it's all sort of, and I'll talk, I think, a 4 step process if I could remember all four of them. But first, you do need to like figure out your niche. And that's sort of like based around keyword research. I mean, there are whole courses just on keyword research, but you need to find out like what people are searching for and make sure that there's enough people searching for like the given niche, and there's enough products that, you could actually build a
Yeah.
site that's profitable and it's worth spending time on. After that, you need to, put content on the site. I recommend just starting with like 10 pieces of content, where 5 pieces of content are sort of affiliate oriented, like a product review. And then the other 5 would be like a how to, sort of informational, like helpful
Hmm.
stuff. So it may be like, affiliate content is around the wireless
Hmm.
mouse. So it's like, what's the best wireless
Yeah.
mouse? And then informational would be, how do you clean your wireless mouse when it gets
Yeah.
dirty? Something like that.
Awesome.
Um, the third step is promoting the site, right? So you need to promote the site. You need to do outreach and let people know about it. That's really just networking. And, whether you're, trying to get a guest post or just commenting on someone's blog, or maybe even like a YouTube channel, right? Commenting on YouTube channels, just so people know that your site is out there. When it comes down to it, you do need backlinks to rank in Google, which is a whole other set of activities, but you do need to rank in Google to get, organic traffic where people are searching for information on a wireless mouse, and then they'll find your site, hopefully. And then the fourth step, I don't remember exactly, maybe I lumped a couple of them together, but if you repeat the process, right? So eventually you would go back and find more keywords and add more content and then promote it again. So I'll make the fourth step is rinse and repeat.
That's so awesome. Wow. Well, you've definitely inspired me. I've been thinking about it. Like, okay, like what could I possibly do for like a affiliate site? So it's very inspirational what you're doing. So, what exactly can you offer everybody? Because I know you do have like some courses and stuff. So, can you talk a little bit more about that?
So if you are interested in this Amazon affiliate model, a couple places I'll point you towards. So if you're watching YouTube right now, you're watching this interview, I know you like YouTube. I do have a lot of stuff on my channel where I answer just simple questions, complicated questions, and I actually have a playlist where I show different affiliate sites and I just talk about what I think they're doing right or wrong. Additionally, I blog at Niche Site Project. So if you want sort of the task list on how to do this, a bunch of keywords, like a list of keywords, there's 15,000 actually associated with the sites that I tear down. So if you go to nichesiteproject.com, you can sign up for the email list and you'll get a bunch of free stuff. Really, it's enough for you to start a site and learn the process. And then finally, I actually have a course. It's called 5-Figure Niche Site. Enrollment only opens about 4 times a year. So I would hop on the email list and then you'll be informed when enrollment opens again. And, it's a premium level course. You get interaction with me and, I can look at your site, look over your keywords and a lot of high interaction stuff.
Yeah. Wow, that's super cool. So if you guys are interested in checking out any of Doug's channels and courses and stuff, I will leave everything down below. So definitely go and check them out. He's a super inspiring guy, super chill. So it's been really, really great talking with you, Doug. So thank you so much for coming onto my channel. Be sure to subscribe for more videos about digital nomads and lifestyle and location independent work and all that good stuff. So thank you so much, Doug, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Thank you.